both teams start in their respective warp gates. We've got the Alpha and the Omega teams color-coded in red and blue respectively. Rules are no construction, no Colossus, and no Bastions. Wow, that is massive. That are crossing the road. My god, this is a slaughterhouse.
It's not enough.
Casting desk. Hey everyone, welcome to Emerald Round 2, Goblins versus UJO. I'm joined here today with my fellow co-caster Shades. Shades, how you doing today? And welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about each team today?
Yeah, for sure. Hey everyone, this is Shades. We start with the UJO roster first before we get into the GOBs ones with the two teams. UJO is actually a pretty interesting team here. Out of the all the teams, I think in the tournament, for what we're gonna have next round and beyond, they are actually the most mixed team out of all the teams, as I can tell here and there. So we got a couple folks going on here at CIK. We got folks in original UJO. There are folks in what I would call the Shades friends fit in main comp. A couple of my guys from the olden days who need all their offensive plays and lots of complex recursion. There's also folks cat folks here on Connery. And then we also have a mix of kind of like other random folks from Knight and ITE from Connery as well. And it's a good mix up about 5 to 6 different outfits. That said, we have some interesting players on their roster. I believe I would have these a pretty decent Air Force, solid A tier. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes in the air and then the infantry with that mix. Although we got a couple different outfits, some of these groups do have containing powerful players. Folks like Hama plays a lot of Jaeger, and there's a lot of folks, of course, the main outfit folks do have a lot of Jaeger experience. On the other side of the house, we have GOB. As you guys know, they were last year's prior Alpha champions, and this year they bring a quite powerful roster too. As you guys know, Frog Mike, legendary leader of that outfit, powerful GOB tribe, and they got a lot of things going for them. Their air game is probably the most dominant as we know of on the entire server. Their tank players, led by a simple clone, they are very, very powerful themselves, and probably, as far as we know, one of the best tankers in his group in the game, right? So it's gonna be very tough to see how that goes. And on top of that, we got an infantry, and there's, you could gush if you had GOB's roster, you gush all over it, but they have probably, as far as I can tell, one of the best Jaeger teams as an infantry squad in multiple groups between all the GOB players. So you got folks like Handu, MP Swan, Frog Mike himself, and then, you know, Synovis, and all these other folks who are quite the group. So this will be a very interesting matchup coming up here.
I agree. Yeah, I think everyone's looking to see, you know, how does UJO, a team that is from Connery, you know, a collection of different outfits, how do they respond to Goblins? I don't think you can bet against Goblins until proven otherwise. But you know, I think there's a lot to be said about teams that can avoid being warp gated by them, as well as teams that, you know, potentially could hold a base or two past the warp gate. So, you know, that's what I'm going to be looking to see during this match. But moving on to for anyone who's new to Outfit Wars, the rules of Nexus. So essentially there is a red and a blue team, an Alpha and an Omega. Alpha is in the south, Omega is in the north, and there are no Bastions or Colossi, but all other outfit resources are allowed. You start on a balanced warp gate, and you race to cap the neutral bases that are in the center. We'll reference them as Gorge to the north, Granite Head Reactor or Center, which is in the center, and then the southern middle base is Arizak Satcom Hub, which is famously known as Tech Plant for short, right? All these teams are using shorthand to denote different bases. So the other 3 bases on each side, there's a Nexus home base. So we'll say Alpha or Omega, a Nexus home base, or Goblin's home, UJO home base, and then to the south on each lattice lane, there's 2 different bases. They're known as rectangle or square. Some teams refer to either one. So we'll reference the outfit whose side is on, and then rectangle or square. And then to the north, very similarly based on the shape of the base, triangle as well. So that's Slate Canyon Hold and I believe Argent Pass are the 2 actual formal base names there. But without further ado, we'll roll a video kind of going through each base so you guys can get an idea of what the arena looks like. Let's see, chat. Help me out here. We're going to go ahead and turn Shades up all the way to see if you can hear him. Shades, can you talk for me real quick?
Absolutely. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right, and then we'll know in 90 seconds whether he's good or not to work things through. Thank you. Let's see, we're approaching the 2-minute mark here, so I'm gonna switch to our POV chart here. I think this overlay should be correct. If not, we'll hot swap it real quick after the opener. But we have either one of the 2 correct links put in. But yeah, we have Shades POV up in the top left here. Shades, can you look up towards the warp gate real quick, or towards the sky?
Absolutely. Yep. Going towards the sky.
Just for another 30 seconds here. But I'm gonna go fly over to Granite Head Reactor here, because it seems like, you know, a lot of the good teams, they really focus on trying to control this center base first. You'll see some tunnels and some ability to drive Sundies around the back here. So I'll be looking to see on the ground right away what the situation is here. Some people use Steel Rain, some people use Anvils, but we'll try and get a good view of that, while Shades will get a good view of the air battle to start out. But now we're crossing the 1-minute mark for these teams getting prepped. So on the GOB's warp gate side, we can see surprisingly 5 galaxies. Probably a couple of those are pre-pulls. Looks like 3 of them are. And then the rest are Reavers, pre-pulls there, and 1 Liberator. How about on the UJO side?
Yep, so on the UJO side, we got a couple things going here. I believe I see mostly ESFs. Galaxies, there's only about 2 for rep gals from looks of it here. So it looks like if we're doing gal on gal, UJO's going for the smaller number, but in replacement for that is lots of ESFs. In fact, they're doing double pulls, and I also see one of those fancy and I can't pronounce it because it's one of those robot planes, but they got one of those fancy robot planes here too. I'm thinking that's going to be there to do some damage.
Awesome.
Be good to see.
5
Yeah, we're back
seconds
in the air here for the POV. See how this air battle goes down. And as you said earlier, Paula, I'm thinking for sure, with this match going on, Gobs will try to contest the middle, and if UJO is smart about their opener, they'll probably do the same thing. Having control of the middle gives you lots of options, right? You can attack multiple bases, whether it's Bitter Gorge Garrison from the side or Satcom Hub, and also top that Nexus Secure Substation. So by owning Granite Head of Reactor, you have the ability to attack 3 different bases. So see if Gobs decides to really push it here after the air battle.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, no drops onto Granite Head, no Steel Rains, no Anvils, doesn't look like it. They already have hacked the terminal there and are pulling Sundies out, so I'm not sure where UJO has gone.
So UJO right now currently at Nexus Secure Substation and Satcom Hub fight. We're having the air battle kind of having a fight here. UJO is diving into the Gobs air, which is very interesting to me, so we'll see how it turns out. Right now, it looks like it's in favor of Gobs, but UJO's still up. They're still fighting here.
Gotcha, I see what you mean. Quickly check.
And yeah, looks like a decisive duel here for Gobs in the air. I don't really see too many UJO pilots left. There's still some of the repair gals in the back here at Nexus Secure Substation, still around, floating around. But they won't be able to contribute to this fight, so I think we should start panning into the ground now and check it out. Currently at Bitter Gorge Garrison, there's a 112 back half going on there, so it's probably about 6-on-6. Granite Head Reactor has a 112 as well, also in favor of Gobs for both bases. And then at Satcom Hub, this looks like where the UJO force is actually contesting. I see a fella named Lone Mustang on point, and he's looking like he wants to do some battle.
This is interesting. You really don't see teams go after Satcom Hub like ever at the start. It's a lot of times ignored, but maybe this is a play for them. They try and get at least one of the middle bases, the one that Gobs probably looks to the least, and play the map from there. It gives access to the enemy rectangle side, so maybe that's their play.
Yeah, this could it be really spicy, especially since I believe this opener is probably due to throw off Gobs. After all the matches and so far as you guys have seen on the standard, Granite Head of Reactor, right, is like the place to be because it gives you the access to most of the bases to attack on the map. But for UJO kind of going for this reverse strategy, I don't know, it's reverse psychology to go for Satcom Hub. It could work in their favor, but we'll see. Gobs really isn't committing to it, and looks like they're going to trade Granite Head of Reactor for Satcom Hub since they pulled most of their forces out, and they're also going to looks like they're also going to take Bitter Gorge. So I'm expecting right now maybe we pan our POVs over at Bitter Gorge. There should be a counterattack over there coming pretty soon. If I was UJO at this current point in time and I'm doing this like reverse psychology play, right, not going for the middle, then I would probably send a squad right about now to go with contest Bitter Gorge while I'm getting Satcom Hub at the same time, right? Trade 2 for 1.
Definitely agree, and I think the first big misplay of the match right here is UJO has let Zach be on top of the tech plant. He's captured B point, put down a beacon, and gotten an Anvil Sunday up. So there's going to be plenty of time for Goblins to get both middle bases and then redeploy in force to try and secure Satcom Hub as well.
Yep. And does look like UJO did send a squad over to contest Bitter Gorge as we predicted, but unfortunately it got shut down with the loss of the air game, and also there's no apparently no tank game from UJO either. Gobs has complete control of Bitter Gorge, so this will go in their favor. I don't expect UJO to counterattack that base, so definitely gonna be for them. Granite Head Reactor as well. No UJO Sundays, tanks, or air to be seen, so definitely no recontest on Granite Head. So I believe Satcom is probably gonna be the fight for UJO here to try to swing things back. Let's see if they do, though.
Yeah, we see a few Goblins forces already heading, and they just flipped enemy rectangle on the UJO side. Both beacons do go down for Gobs, so, but you can see already the pop up to 45% in this hex.
Yeah, it's not going to look good for them. If UJO decides to commit here at SATCOM Hub, they're going to have a couple problems here because Nexus Secure Substation behind them is actually getting backcapped by GOBs as we speak right now. So I'm going to take over my POV here and bring it over to the Secure Substation fight, since this will be the important one of the two.
Yes.
UJO will have to respond here in force, and unfortunately for them, GOBS already has 2 Cloak Sundays on the outside of Secure Substation, parallel to each other, so they can attack from multiple angles between Skinny and Door 3. We'll see how this pans out for them here. Unfortunately, I don't see any UJO on point at all at Nexus Secure. It's just all GOBS, so they're going to respond. They have to do this quick.
Yeah, they're desperately trying to get this Airzac SATCOM hub cap finished, but they just can't get back onto B point on top. There's too much goblins there.
Yep, correct, and we'll see if they can do it too. Because I think the biggest problem right now, right? If you guys check the timers here, although if they can get all 3 points at Satcom, right, then they can take they can go back and try to resecure Nexus Secure Substation within a minute. But the main issue here is that all GOBS has to do, right, is flip 1 point at Satcom Hub because it is a 3-point base, and that extra delay of a minute is going to cost them when it comes to actually capping it, right? Because then that flips it on the other side for GOBS to flip 2 bases for 1. They can both get Satcom Hub back and then also get Nexus Secure Substation. So that really puts UJO here in a really bad predicament if they decide to go all in here at Satcom Hub, especially now that GOBS has complete air control. So all they have to do, right, is drop 1 player, 1 ESF on 1 point, stall it, and they can just do it multiple times with the moment folks have in the air.
Yeah, they already controlled 2 of the points. UJO's doing a good job with the Sunday they have outdoors. Doesn't seem like GOBS has sniffed it out quite yet.
Right, and that looks like a pretty good sunny spawner, though. Yeah, the air looks like they have noticed it now. So we'll see how this works out for them.
Oh man, it's slaughter. They're already air to ground.
Oh man, that GOBS Air Force. I'm telling you, man.
There's no
That's
chance.
powerful.
So 30 seconds here. I can't remember if they might be locked out because they're back capped and they don't own a point anymore, but I know some teams have unfortunately realized that halfway through tech plant captures.
Right, and unfortunately, I don't think, even though they do have time to clock that, they're going to make it. There is significant GOBS of infantry squads inside right now, holding the point down, so anybody trying to go in after not getting air to ground it is probably going to get killed by GOBS infantry here.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Unfortunate.
They are able to flip C point, but the air to ground just going to get rid of these last few that are on B. And they got a beacon up still, Goblins does.
Yep, so if I was UJO right now and I'm trying to do some good work, I would definitely send a force over to Nexus Secure Substation. They're already kind of at the limit now, where if they don't get folks here within the next 10 seconds, this base will definitely be lost.
Yes.
Going inside the point, though, Nexus Secure Substation, there's a couple things going on here. GOBS has already set up a little point holds at door 1. They got the baby gate shield going up, about 5 to 6 players around it, and a couple of medics here doing the good old medic tether. Looking pretty good here. UJO, however, does have overpop at 60%, so hopefully they can swing some of that pop around, but that Air Force from GOBS is probably going to shut that down if they cannot cross the road right now.
Some good rotations. I also like what UJO's doing, backcapping Bitter Gorge for the time being with very low pop. It helps at least secure, you know, their triangle base for a little bit longer. UJO's pushing in door 1 right now.
Right. Oh, and unfortunately, they're... I think that might have been a snake. So as you guys saw, right, UJO was able to push into the doorway, but they only had 5 seconds on the clock, right? I don't agree with that push up to the fat stairs because the point is on the ground, right? It's on the bottom floor in the lobby. You don't want to go up to the fat stairs and try to clean it when you don't have time. If I was them and I was going to try to delay the point, I would have went to the lobby, but even then, I'm not sure if they really had the infantry commitment to really clear it out, right? Which would bought them more time, but...
Best
unfortunately,
it
worked out in their favor.
At least flip the point back in their favor after the capture, but
right.
No harm going for the save.
Yep, no harm at all. Good attempt for them.
See 2 squads
panning over
back over to Nexus Alpha just to make sure they don't get a back cap on there. We can check out Triangle now to see what's going on there. And Bitter Gorge as well.
Yep. Go for it. And it does look like UJO does have 2 squads here at Nexus Alpha, kind of holding things down. They are on. We got about 4 guys now in their AA turrets, trying to keep the air contested. Gobs, though, it does have a squad on the ground on the north side of the powerhouse here at Nexus Alpha. And looks like they're going for the push now. I believe I hear the faint smell and audio scat Maxis. Yep, there it is. You can smell that from a mile away, even though it's, you know, visual.
Bitter Gorge is now just fully capped back in the favor of Goblins. They were able to clear out the squad and a half that were over here. And already
Oh, that's
flipping
definitely gonna be
Triangle
unfortunate
Base
for them.
Argent Bass. So that is back capped.
Let's hope here if UJO wants to keep this a little bit more competitive that they decide to go back to Bitter Gorge and contest it while trying to resecure Nexus Alpha. By losing that attempt at back cap, though, they do make Argent pass, and unfortunately I'm looking at it right now, prep for a back cap, and exactly as I was mentioning it, Gauss has already back capped Argent pass, so now UJO's on the complete timer defensive again here for this match. So hopefully we do see UJO try to get Argent pass back, but Gobs does already have 2 squads inbound there. They also have 2 squads at Nexus Alpha, and kind of really entrenched here already, so
Well, Nexus Alpha is at
see
least
what
back
happens.
capped for a minute here, so they do have some time to work with. The point is flipping back in the favor of Goblins. Again, they are stuck on the top of those fat stairs. Just isn't going to get it done. Some good pick plays going on at short. They should be able to flip it back.
Yeah. Especially with the logistics they have right now.
Yeah.
If you guys have had a chance to kind of really see from our POVs here, Gobs does a really good job, right? And I kind of like how they do it with their logistics is every time they take a base or they're defending a base, there's always going to be a bus up at one of those bases. It's going to be cloaked, it's going to be somewhere shady that you can't find, and then you're going to have to go look for it. And by doing that, right, you can really just like force multiply and move people really, really fast, right? And if you're on the offensive and you're doing that, that's really going to give the advantage to the attacker to kind of just keep the timers running on you. So although like UJO's doing a great job right now at redefending next secure, they're going to have problems later down the road because they don't have the spawns that Gobs does, right? That kind of timer drain and redeployment drain on you, it's going to tear. So our hope here is UJO decides to, when they can, you know, try to do the same thing after they wipe Gobs from a couple of these bases, try to take out their logistics, put some of theirs on so they can kind of bring this fight back in their favor.
I'm interested. Goblins has 2 full squads. I guess they're into keeping up spawns at Nexus Alpha, but it doesn't make too much sense why they're not resecuring this rectangle with a bit more population. I don't think UJO will cap it, but it's a lot of time for them to keep a base, or at least threaten a base.
Right, so if I had to guess why that's happening here, Gobs is definitely trying to play in favor of the timers, right, depending on what side of the map you're on. So normally if you are on the northern side, right, or southern side at Bitter Gorge, then, you know, if you're defending from that area, Argent Pass or Bitter Gorge is a nice place to attack, but it's not as favorable as kind of owning the secure substation route to Nexus Alpha. It's a lot easier to kind of like drivel up your vehicles there to just get folks inbound to that area. So in terms of like faster redeployment side, it's better to trade north or south versus the other way around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think, yeah, getting them invested right now for a little bit in this space is good. The point does flip back in favor of Goblins. There's still a lot of people. I see 5 Goblins beacons and 3 UJO ones. I mean, this fight is just kicking off while there's a smaller version
Right.
at Triangle.
And I think another big problem too is, right, although like UJO does have their beacons up right now, they don't really have spawns. All it's going to take is 1 EMP from Gobs here to kind of go outside, hunt these beacons down, and really end this push. Although UJO does have a Valkyrie kind of coming down to contest these bases, the air will come here from Gobs, and I do see a couple of them actually in the air right now,
Finally,
coming
we
back
see
in.
one
So
LA. Oh, he doesn't even go for the beacons. Wow, interesting. They're all ignoring the beacons, it seems like. I don't know if I'd be doing that, but
nope, definitely not. Definitely, I would commit a guy from each side here to go and kill for the beacons. But you know, the
makes for a better fight, that's for sure.
does make for a better fight if you're looking for battle. And between 2 Connery outfits here, with a couple Emerald Mercenaries on both sides, they're doing Connery battle as we're looking at it.
Looks like UJO's coordinating a drop on their remaining beacons right now. I see 4 beacons up for UJO now. To 4 for Goblins. Perfect.
Up and here comes the UJO redrop for Nexus Secure Substation. And it does look like we do have finally UJO. Oh, never mind. I take that back. No, never mind. I take it double back. We do have UJO air in the air now at Nexus Secure Substation. Finally, that's gonna help a little bit. Although topless air, I would try to get some spawns. Just rely on infantry alone, without any maxes, is gonna be a little tough for them to breach here.
I'm not sure on the decision to push through dubs. I feel like that's the bread and butter of gobs. They're able to slowly
Correct,
get through,
yeah.
but it takes so long. They only have 17 seconds left now.
Yep, and you can kind of tell here, like holding the dub
back
side on the
up.
top 50s. Gobs is very, very strong at holding it down. It took them about a good 40 seconds to breach that. Just by holding those double doors, right, and giving your chance to just lob grenades to the dubs door, throw C4 across the alleyway, right? It makes it really hard for any team to really contest the point.
What a push. They're trying to desperately get a back half on this base before it resecures. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. 3 seconds.
Nah, the lack of medics here is going to do it for him. And Gobs does secure it. Alright, with that, looks like Nexus Alpha is now going in favor of Gobs. I'm going to go ahead and send my POV over there and check that out.
Yes. I'll check out the spawn situation real quick. We got Caltrops Max coming out of a Cloak Sunday by the short stair tunnel entrance on the southern side. And then
Although,
another
good
Cloak
news
Bus.
for UJO, though, at Nexus Alpha, although the infantry fight is going and Gobs will have to respond up, UJO did try to repull their air. In fact, I think they're contesting right now. Hopefully they can win the air battle here. If they do, then they'll have a chance to kill all the Gobs spawns that are underneath the Nexus Alpha base. But Gobs is sending a massive push, though, on the northwest side into the UJO Nexus Alpha point. They got a couple maxes coming in here, a couple engineers.
Oh, yeah,
Looks like
baby.
about a group of 2 squads.
Ujo's stuck in the backyard section of the base. They are
Yep, and that.
having a nightmare. There's a max there already.
Yeah, that's not looking good for them. That push from Gobs was quite powerful, and in the angle we had on the northwest side here, it was only just one group pushing. They actually had a secondary group come in from the south and do the same thing. So that's gonna cause some trouble here for UJO.
Someone did mention that
Ujo-
there was a bug for beacons, their image persisting despite being destroyed. So maybe we saw some of that at the rectangle base we just left.
That is definitely correct. Yeah, in fact, me and Eternal last night we were casting the Sokka match versus Unity. Same thing was happening. So good call out there from the stream. Oh, and OS is coming down here from UJO. Let's hope it kills some of the maxes that are in the Gob squad. Maybe give them a chance here to push back the base.
Not a single max
That's
dead, it looks like. Yeah, I'm not a
unfortunate.
fan of using that in the middle. I like to try and trap people in a corner somewhere. At least you get some of the max
Right.
dead. But
Yep,
you can
I
see
agree.
they place some on each different side, so only one would really die in any given orbital. Which is a good strategy.
Yep, and here comes the UJO push now. We're going into the point building. UJO's pulling about 2 maxes here, a couple engineers, but they are unfortunately getting air to grounded. So, oh wow, a lot of these players are dead too. We got 4 or 5 dead UJO players, and the maxes are still pushing. These guys might have to slow down here and try to reconcile this push. Otherwise, it's not going to look good for them.
I think Goblins is coming up on the 2 KD mark over here against UJO. They're gonna get a lot of kills in this backyard section here. I wonder if they even.
Yep,
push
and we
this
got
lead.
Gob, Seuss NC just laying into the squad of UJO. Ay, ay, ay. My goodness, I don't think I've seen that kind of decimation on stream in a long time. For my POV here, we had a squad of UJO pushing from the front side of the spawn to get to the A point.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they did not notice Seuss NC from the Gob side just pounding into them. He was killing multiple amounts of players and he killed 2 maxes of C4. That was sick. Absolutely disgusting.
All right, another
So,
study goes
go-
up for UJO. They do orbital strike right now after setting it up. I'm not sure about that, but it looks like it's uncontested.
Gotcha. And hopefully this OS this time, which is a little bit more better, well placed, maybe kills a couple of the Gobs. Max is going to chance to come back in. But I don't think it's going to happen here. UJO is going to push, though, from the south side to see if they can come in from the back.
Yeah, this is where most of the heat's been for a little while now. I think Goblins is fine with that Sunday existing. I mean, this zigzag is terrible to have to push through if the enemy's already at the top of the stairs.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, the only way UJO's going to really get up there is they really force commit a push and stagger their res grenades, right? If they don't stagger them, they're not getting up the staircase. Gobs is very, very good at contesting these pushes, so C4 and using tether medics, and without the staggered res grenades, they will not claim the top side of this building. It does look like UJO is taking my advice and running the staggered grenade push. They're getting in here, although it looks to be hotly contested. Gobs still in the thick of it.
Oh, yes. So many.
All right, after 2 seconds here, I think UJO does have the zigzag now. They are definitely in and on the south side. GOBS though is trying to parry lots of the UJO pushes from different angles here. They still have a max available on the southeast side in the room, kind of holding down lots of people here. UJO is pushing now from the southwest side into the building.
Oh, some GOBs. 3 GOBs get behind everybody with some medics. This is going to be brutal to have to hold with probably no more res grenades, I would think. They're going to buy some valuable time here, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, UJO there did a really good, I would say, executed push there, coming from multiple angles, both from the north and the south side. I think the unfortunate part, though, is like, although they were to reclaim the building here, GOBS still has a nice foothold here on the southwest side, through the same door that UJO flanked them from. And now here comes the GOBS push coming in from the southeast. Oh, they just cleared them off.
Yep. They're very good at
unfortunate
pushes from multiple angles. I mean,
absolutely. And kind of the funny part about this push, right, is the paradox of how UJO was able to claim back the point, and then how GOBS coming through the same doorways that they got pushed from, right, from UJO, coming back and just storming in from those doorways. So, like, the parallel and the paradox is quite interesting, and just, it's kind of like, you know, a preview of, like, how GOBS actually plays on live, right? If you wipe them from point, at least from my experience, they will come back and hit you from the same spot you hit them from, and then it's like, wow, that's like reverse psychology. Why would you do that? Apparently, nobody expects, more times than not, that the door you push an enemy from is the same door they're going to arrive from, right? So it gives you the element of surprise, and GOBS is very, very good at that.
Agreed. I like what UJO's doing here. I just think they have to use a lot of nanites to get up to this point area. It looks like they have a pretty good hold now. I'll take a look at the other side.
Yep. I would say UJO has stabilized a little bit, but I would definitely be careful. I do see on the map here, on the southwest and south side, GOBS is pulling some maxes from the looks of it. And they're probably going to swing them in here from the map pretty soon.
Yep. I was about to say that the maxes need to come in for goblins. That'll make it much easier, obviously. Don't see any maxes from UJO, which I'm not sure if they're nanites or...
At this... Right, I would think they probably are, right? Earlier, even like about 5 to 10 minutes ago, we did see UJO in the air with at least a squad of dudes in Reavers, right, trying to contest the ground. So, with that pull, and that was definitely either their 3rd pull, if they're not their 4th pull, right, they're probably pretty drained right now as a unit. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, the crossfire is just crazy on this GOB store here.
Yep, and this southeast side, although UJO is trying to push it, it's going to be a little tough, just because, A, like you said, the crossfire, and B, on top of it, you'll notice lots of the GOBS players are trying to actually force push through the door where UJO is trying to push back, and that counter push is definitely going to ruin them. I would actually say through this doorway...
is insane.
Yeah, absolutely insane, right? Yeah. And I definitely think, like, on that northwestern side, if you own, like, the inside of the 8-point, and you're kind of force-throwing people coming in from the powerhouse on that south side, it makes it a little bit difficult, even though you're the one trying to defend the base, to come in, just because of how the map is laid out, right? It's meant for like defenders to kind of hold.
Last minute here, it seems like Goblins is very confident they can close this match out here and now.
Yeah, and I think they can for sure. UJO's kind of not really staggering their res grenades anymore, and they actually might be running out of nanites at this point.
I don't think they have anymore. Yeah, it's kind of...
Yeah.
They have one shot each push.
Yep, let's see where this last push is coming from. Looks like it's going to be on the northwestern side. Hopefully they come from different angles here. That's probably their only way through the entry door. I don't want them shoving 48 dudes, right? And looks like they have 2 squads here on the southwest side, so... They're gonna come. Can't just be through this doorway that we're looking at here.
It's like they split it 2-prong approach. The backyard and that northwestern entrance.
Yep, and it does look that 2-prong approach is happening. Although I don't think the west approach is making any leeway, do you? From that zigzag. Yeah. So. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a GOBS win for sure. They're not going to be able to get unwarped get here. Lemon Pepper Wings did enter the building, though, but got shot down immediately. And as far as I can tell, he's the only UJO player, other than their Force Commander Blue Champion, entering. So 2 of them. Kudos for those guys for entering the building. But unfortunately, this is a GOBS win for them, and it is a warp gate. Good work on GOBS, though, on their part for just showing us a completely dominating match, right? Both on the strategic Force Commander level and the tactical squad-to-squad level.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see the IVI skill on UJO still, despite, I mean, I had mentioned earlier that Gobs was going to double their kills, but that did not actually end up being the case. So we'll be getting interviews kicked off here in just a second. But what are your initial thoughts on UJO, since this is, I think, the first casted match of them, and then of Gobs as well. And then if anyone can't hear Shades, just let me know in the chat as well. I know he might be a little low, but
Yeah, my initial thoughts are pretty straightforward, right? We got to see it live, and kind of like our initial thoughts at the opener probably haven't changed now. Gob's there, very powerful, very strong. I didn't see a lot of Gob's tanks on my POV. I'm not sure if you had a chance, Apollo, but I'm going to assume the tanks also did their job, right? And the logistics that we got to see from both our streams, the logistics from Gob's really, I think, outside of just the air control, was really kind of what set the tone for the entire match, right? They just had Sunday after Sunday placed base after base in multiple places, right? And we're just not like one Sunday at every base, we're like 2, 3, maybe 4, right? And like by just rotating troops like that from base to base, even if you're out popped, right? Or even if you're under popped, no matter what you do, if you can just freely move pop around the map uncontested, you're gonna win the match. It's simple as that. As for the UJO side, I think even if they did have a little bit of air control, and they were definitely contesting a little bit right throughout the middle, I was actually surprised near the end that UJO did have air up, right? Even though they got wiped during the opener, they got wiped during the repull, and they even got wiped during the mid set of the match, right? They still tried to keep the air control, which is good. I think that's something going forward they should continue to keep doing, just because that's going to give them the chance to really try to fight back. The problem is, if you keep losing the air battles over and over again, right, you're going to run out of nanites. And then if you run out of nanites in the air battle, even if you have an air squad, eventually those folks need to be on the ground to pull maxes too, right? And if you don't have the cheese on the ground, it's going to be hard to win. So, tough to say. And I think also a thing Ucho might want to do is maybe commit more to the tank game. If you're not winning the air game so much, maybe pull some sky guards. I didn't see any from my POV. I'm not sure if you did, Apollo, but if you did, they definitely need to pull more. Just to kind of like help that contention.
yeah,
If they don't, like,
out in the open at the Warp Gate, I think. I also think that the opener could have been a lot more interesting if they were able to get that tech plant fast cap. They just had that Sunday and Beacon were able to be uncontested, dropped on B point. They didn't have anyone holding there, and so that just totally slowed it down and gave Goblins all the time in the world to capture the other two and then move in. But we do have who is it? CCDMC. I'm not sure if you know the name, Shades, from Goblins, as well as Blue Champion.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Yep,
bring them
very
in here
famous
now.
player. The both of them. Welcome, you legends. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, boys. Let's get the Goblins' perspective. How did you guys approach this match? And did things go according to plan, or anything surprise you when fighting UJO?
First of all, good games. They put up a good fight. The air was definitely there. We got air to grounded a couple times. They had a couple good back caps. How we approached it was, I don't know, didn't do a ton of planning, but we did try a couple new strats, and this seemed to work out well.
Awesome. How about UJO, Blue Champion? Anything to say about the match?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I think it was a pretty fun match to play in. I think we knew going into it that Gobs is Gobs, and they obviously won last year, so I think we're pretty happy with their performance.
Yeah, I think we could tell that, as far as infantry versus infantry goes, and when, the air to ground wasn't too bad, you guys were able to still get some successful pushes and get onto points, which is really awesome to see, because that's typically not the case when we're looking at Goblins in an Alpha Wars match. So I think that was really exciting. Your ability to get back onto the home Nexus base points was a great push through the zipper building. Unfortunately, and even equally as great counter push around the edges and the backside by Goblins to wipe you all off. But I think we had a lot of fun watching the Airzak Satcom hub fight, that rectangle base fight towards the end of the match there as well. So GG's to you guys as well. Anything looking forward to next week for either team? I think yeah, go ahead.
Depends who we play. I think we're thinking we'll play Recursion, which will be a good match. Hoping, there's some battle done there. And guess we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, round 3 of that fight. I know know lots of people will enjoy watching. What about UJO? I know you guys had a pretty slow week 1 match. Any teams that you want to face?
I don't think in particular we want to face anyone. I think we're just going to be ready for whoever we get slotted up against. So
Awesome.
I personally really enjoy Outfit Wars, so I'm excited for whoever we play.
Nice. Yeah, well, thank you guys for joining for the interviews. And we'll go ahead and take a quick look at the other results before sending everyone on their way to other matches that might be in progress. I see the Sin versus ADRE match is ongoing, which we all expected would be pretty close, pretty pure outfits. But Goblins obviously getting the win here. 2RAF beating Gautier. Seems like that was a relatively highly contested match. And then seems like United Terran Republic Alliance won their match tonight.
Utra, they call it.
Yeah, Utra. And 0 Hour as well, getting their first W of the season against Go Hard Gaming. So yeah, that's almost a wrap on week 2. We'll see you all next week for another matchup. Bye-bye for now.